Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the GotchardCast. We are Otaku Sentai Podranger. This is your host, B-Shuck.
And Ben.
Today, we'll be covering another 4 episodes of Kamen Rider Gotchard. But at the start of these episodes, there's a little something different. And that is the opening has been completely revamped. Not only with new visuals featuring 3 protagonist riders instead of just one.
That's coming off the cusp of the movie that we haven't seen.
Yeah, which featured one of those 3 for the first time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, seeing it for the first time in the show, not being able to see that movie was a big surprise.
We need to just learn Japanese and just go over and watch the film and then come back.
Yeah, we gotta pay
we have
God
to
knows
watch
how
that.
much. Gotta pay God knows how much for airplane tickets
Straight up.
to and from just to see this movie. But anyway, not only have the visuals been revamped, the theme song, Kemi's Story, has now been remixed featuring both Back On and Flo. And never did I ever expect to see Flo do a song for Kamen Rider.
Straight up,
So,
dude.
yeah, real pleasant surprise.
I really enjoyed them in Dragon Ball Battle of Gods.
Oh yeah, and of course, the iconic openings they've done for the Naruto series.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, new version of the opening. I guess they really wanted to make the show feel refreshed, like it's entering a new phase, because now it's not just Hotaro and Gotchard's story. We now have 2 other Kamen Riders, Kamen Rider Majade and Kamen Rider Valvarad, and how they're going to go on their paths to become great alchemists as well. So,
yeah, dude,
you can
it's
tell that
everybody's Kemi story.
that's right. You can tell the narrative is about to expand a bit.
Definitely.
So, anyway,
Let me tell you,
on
it does
to
pick up. It picks up because like every time I get on this show, I'm like, man, this show's picking up, and it just keeps picking up.
Yep, this keeps picking up more cards. More cards from the pile.
In this episode, man, what a doozy. What a doozy.
Yeah.
Moonbreak Messenger, episode 17.
Yep. We start off with the creation of a new amalgam, the Moon amalgam, and pretty interesting design. It just has like the
Yeah,
moon
pretty menacing.
with teeth on it, on its head.
Yeah, dude, that was it was definitely like a, I don't know, I definitely was like, wow, it's a lot more like horror themed, this one. Like the teeth was just like freaking, that was crazy. I was like, this is an extreme design.
Oh yeah, and one detail I noticed about the suit, or well, rather a detail I didn't notice, but someone pointed out on Twitter, that the arm, because it's like a weird blue arm, I wasn't quite sure what it was, but it's
Oh yeah.
the saliva of like the moon drooling while it's asleep. So that
Interesting.
was, yeah, it's the amalgams. It's like at face
There's a lot of
value,
thought
the
put on
designs
these
aren't too
costumes.
crazy, but it's when you look at like the details of like how they're put together, that's when they really shine.
Yeah. Because it's like we can go from like a skateboard amalgam to like the moon amalgam, and they all have like these real intricate details, like specific to them, you know? Because they all have like the same base, but all these different like, at least the different cards that create these amalgams all have their own specific flares to them that changes this base costume up.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we get more Gotchard Daybreak in this episode because he appears again to help Hotaro as he fights this amalgam.
Yeah, and beats the crap out of it as he did.
Yep.
He keeps telling him like, it's like you need to be better as you are right now. You'll never defeat that amalgam, according to the Kamen Rider wiki here. And like it's a little common theme in this little arc where Hotaro just keeps getting the crap kicked out of him, and then future him basically just comes in and is like, "You won't beat him like this. This is how you should beat him." And that's his little flair.
Yeah. So Hotaro is very much helping himself out in the literal sense in this arc.
And let's see. I really like how just like Daybreak kind of looks, because it's you can tell it's him from the future. But with further developments, it really goes to show it's like this version of Hodoro in this timeline is a very special person.
Oh yeah.
Because man, because Daybreak, was it this episode that we learned more about Daybreak, where he's from?
Yeah, this episode, I don't think it's outright confirmed, but it just really hints towards him being future Hodoro.
Yeah. Oh, and the Alchemist Academy, dude.
Yeah.
Garyon
So
is
most,
back at it again, dude.
yeah, damn Gary on. So like most of the episode is just um, present Gotchard learning from Gotchard Daybreak and taking down the. Wait, hold on. Was it this episode or the next? Wait, no, it was this episode because. Wait, no. No, it was next episode they finally take out the moon amalgam. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
was the.
for now, Gotchard is just attempting to fight it, but isn't too successful, so Daybreak has to help him out. But by the end of the episode, the big twist happens, and we see Spanner in a heated battle against Minato, firing his Valve Rusher at him and everything. And it turns out that due to the events of the movie that we didn't get to see, and Licht of the Alchemist Academy doing some fuck shit, the academy has been entirely disbanded, and he asks to confiscate Hotaro's driver and Chemi cards. And not only that, but the new students of whatever the new version of the academy is now the Abyssal Sisters for some
Yeah, dude.
reason.
It is just like, what the heck, Minato? What do you mean you're working with these people?
Yeah.
Like,
Not only that, but he becomes Kamen Rider Dread, and he appears to be the primary user from here on out.
and it's like, if anybody knows like how like dark of a power that is, it should be him. And it's like we don't even like totally caught up. We still don't really know what his real motives are, if
Yeah.
if he has any, like compared to what he's been doing.
I don't know,
Uh,
we definitely get a lot of mixed signals from Minato that we'll get into later on
yeah, because
through
it's
this
like
podcast.
it's like is he really working with them, or is he like testing the kids? What is he doing here? But it's like
Yeah.
if he's testing them, he's definitely going as far as he possibly can.
Yeah, it's a hell of a test.
Yeah,
Hell,
because
it seems like he's testing himself a little bit.
yeah, because Spanner ranks higher than him, right?
See, no, I think they're equals.
Yeah. Okay. Because like he beats Spanner, and like Hodoro and the gang run up, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, I want your rings, I want your gotcha driver, I want everything. And then like the Abyssal sisters are just behind him, like, yeah, yeah. And it's, oh man, dude, it
Yeah.
is just scary. It was like, wow, what the turn really happens. It's like we freaking knew it, dude. We knew that something was gonna go down with the organization. But it's like I I did not think for a second that Minato was gonna be like prime antagonist for this.
Yeah.
Because if anyone was
I
gonna turn,
mean,
I didn't think it was gonna be him.
because it's like we definitely got vibes that there's something a bit sketchy, like here and there.
Yeah,
Not just with Minato, but with the Alchemist Academy, like the organization as a whole. And it's like I predicted from episode one of this podcast that there'd probably some kind of twist where the students have to rebel against the Alchemist Academy. And lo and behold, not only has it happened, but they just kind of drop it on you like an anvil in one episode. Like everything changes.
yeah, dude. It's like you're with Hodoro every moment that this is happening, and it's like you're basically like in his shoes. with all this, and it's really adds to like all the tension to the show, honestly, and like
Oh,
the stakes
definitely.
higher and higher and higher.
Yeah. But anyway, that leads into episode 18 because now that everyone's been kicked out of the Alchemist Academy, they need something to do, and so they all gather at Hotaro's mom's restaurant, the Kitchen Ichinose, and
Because
together,
before that they used like a somebody used a smoke bomb to get away from Minato, right? Was that was that Spanner or was that
oh yeah, I think Spanner dropped some kind of smoke bomb or did some kind of alchemy
yeah
to create smoke and get away. See, was that it for 17?
yeah, and now it's on to they kind of regroup at the restaurant.
Yep. The Kitchen Ichinose Alliance has been formed, but all it is just Hodoro and Rine and Sabimaru and Renge, and it just really makes you think how small the Alchemist Academy is if these are the only students. Because it's like no wonder it got shut down. It's because they couldn't get any funding because barely anyone attended.
It's interesting where it's like if they're the only ones, like is there really nobody else? Because I could see it from like a storytelling standpoint where it's like we want to focus on this specific group of characters, but like if there's really nobody else in the Alchemist Academy, it's like I don't know. It's kind of worrisome, you know, because
Yeah,
they're like the last bastion against like these very evil organization, you know.
yeah, these very evil people who'll stop at nothing to do the most terrible things imaginable. And
Yeah,
not only are you relying on teenagers to take care of it, but you're relying on only four of them.
yeah, and it's like we know that there's like other people there, but like there's like no other students,
Yeah,
you know. It's really just like the the higher ups is all we see.
yeah. And of the few, like, employees of the academy that we've seen, two of them turned out to be evil. So there's already some big security concerns. So yeah, no wonder they shut it down.
And then the higher ups, like the higher ups, top brass are just like, now it'll figure itself out.
Yeah, and they're yeah, who knows if they even had Minato team up with the Abyssal Sisters. Like who like that is such a question, like what the hell is going on and why are they allowing this?
Yeah, because like a lot of like bad things could have happened if it wasn't for the students. You know, like with Yamato Orochi, a lot of people could have gotten turned to stone. I mean, hell, the whole world could have got turned to stone if left unchecked, and like nobody really did anything about it except for Hodoro. And future Hodoro had to come in and help and save everybody.
Yeah. Maybe it's an inside job. Maybe the Abyssal Sisters have been bolstered by the organization this whole time,
Maybe.
but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But anyway, the battle with the Moon Malgam continues. Gotchard Daybreak comes back once again, and this time he offers to give Hodoro his Gotchard Igniter, the engine attachment to the Gotchard driver,
Yeah.
to help him out. But Hotaro, being the Chad that he is, he rejects the free power up because he wants to create his own power that he can rely on. And so Daybreak gives him the ability to do just that because there are these pair of goggles that Hodoro had as a kid that are the key to this new power up, but he has to go back in time to get them because he doesn't have them in the present moment. So Daybreak gives Hotaro the Time Lord Kemi,
Yeah, dude.
which there's a Kemi that was man made through science and alchemy that can just casually time travel. Like
It
these Kemis are no joke. Like
straight up.
the power that they exude is like, how are these made through mere chemicals?
Yeah, because that really begs the question: is like, what kind of chemicals, or hell, even magic, are these things made out of? You know?
Who know? Maybe it's extraterrestrial, like alien alchemy or something.
Yeah.
Like
I
they were
mean,
sent from space.
UFOX. I mean,
Oh yeah, this is the one
it's,
that's literally an alien.
yeah, it's like it span. I'd say it just spans time and space. Honestly, I mean, uh, you got like chemis built after celestial objects such as the moon one, the moon amalgam.
Who knows? Maybe they were created by an alchemist who was so overpowered that he could just literally create whatever he wanted.
Yeah, dude, like
Like
straight
some kind
God.
of, yeah, basically. But anyway, so Time Lord takes Hotaro back in time and takes him to the Ouroboros zone. Wait, is that the name of it?
I think so. Uh, well, it's the place that Hodoro ended up like right when he got the Gotchard driver
Yeah, in
from.
episode one,
Yeah,
the Ouroboros snake in the sky. He sees his child self there playing with not just Hopper 1 and Steamliner, but also the rest of the 101 chemis. So not only has Hotaro interacted with the chemis before episode 1, like we saw in that one flashback, he's been interacting with all of the chemis.
yeah. It's like he's always been their friend, and so it went from a I gotta befriend all the Kimmies to I gotta like get back together with all my friends again, and a lot of the setup from the X-Rex episode, it really like pays off here
Oh,
because we
definitely.
finally see like everything, and there's
It
a
adds
lot
another
in this.
yeah, it adds another emotional layer to the goal of the series, or Hotaro's goal.
Yeah, and it also makes sense like with say like when Apara Bushido, whenever him and Spanner got into their first fight, when Apara Bushido became Hotaro's friend after he basically proved that it's like he's still him, you know, he's still
Right,
that kind, loving kid who like loves
right.
Kimmy's, you know.
Oh yeah, the goat. Anyway, we see Fuga in this time period as well, and he is attacked by who else but Garyon, who wants to unseal the 101 chemis, and he succeeds in doing so and frames it on Fuga as being the one to have done it. So yeah, Garyon ruins everything once again.
Yeah, but we get to see Fuga again though, so that's pretty sick.
Oh yeah,
Garyon and because I think wasn't it that Hodoro just kind of like walked in there and then Garyon's like, you shouldn't be here, so he goes to like attack him
yeah,
because he's like
yeah.
goes to beat up
As
a
a
kid.
young as a young kid, Hodoro gets hands. He was
Then
trained while he was young to be a warrior.
yeah, and then Fuga comes in. He's like, dude, why are you fighting a child? And just like he pretty much redeems himself here, where it's like, oh, he's not a like this is confirmation at least that Fuga is one of the good ones.
Oh yeah,
Like
he was
he
never a traitor. It was
yeah,
a he was framed basically.
yeah. And it looks like Hodoro was part of the plan from the beginning, really.
Yeah. So that wasn't just a fate encounter that Fuga had giving Hodoro the Gotchard driver. Like they already had a prior established relationship, although Hodoro may have had that memory of his wiped.
Because Hodoro runs up on his young self and like blocks him from getting like hit by like the excess blasts. And he he like imparts some uh, kind words where it's like, hey, since like I helped you out here, can I have your goggles? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. Because he's like, I'm a friend of the Kimmys too, and then I just kind of saved your life. So yeah, if you would give me those, that'd be great. And then his kid self kind of, at least before all this went down, he's like, nah, these are my goggles. But after he saved them, he's like, okay, they're yours. So he gets his goggles, goes back, because the Time Lord card definitely is a glass cannon when it comes to this, because it was very, very damaged by the end of this little bout. And they get back to the real world, and the goggles kind of turn into Hotaro's own fire driver, and yeah, he has the power now.
Yep, it's the Gotchard igniter.
Yeah,
That's the name of it.
so yeah, he's got his own igniter, and it is time to defeat Moon Malgam.
Yep, and to unveil a brand new form, Kamen
Oh
Rider Fire Gotchard.
yeah, and this ain't no this ain't no Gotchard Daybreak. This is a whole new other beast. A
Oh
whole
yeah,
other beast that's even Daybreak himself is like, dang, this guy's gonna change the future.
yep. He's got very nice looking fiery details all over his base steam hopper suit, and he's got a huge ass afterburner on his back.
Yeah, and it's
So
like I was even saying too, like how Daybreak his outfit looked a little cheap. You know what I mean? Like it was like someone took like a table tarp and cut flames into it, right?
yeah,
This looks legit. So
oh yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, this that was definitely planned. Where it's like, yeah, this is a cool looking suit, but it could look better. And then it's like, okay, now it does. It's sick.
oh yeah, and the fight scene looks sick too,
There's like
and has a new insert theme.
the new song.
Oh yeah, What's Your Fire by Rider Chips. Oh yeah, and then the fight itself, just Fire Gotchard's able to travel so fast because of his afterburner. It's the rider kick at the end was
Oh,
definitely a highlight.
oh yeah, it's one of the best we've seen in the show. He just gets absolutely obliterated at light speed.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty much it for episode 18.
Yeah. New form, uh, annihilated the Moon Malgam and proved to himself that he is him.
Yep, he's always been him.
Yep. He worked very hard for that power, and now it is time to see another payoff from the movie that is not available in the United States
Nope.
legally. Uh, Renee's Dawn transform Majade, and
Yep.
you get to see this form in the OP. And let me tell you, Majade is a really cool fucking form, right?
Oh yeah.
I
Very
wanted
beautifully designed.
I wanted her to be a Kamen Rider since day one, and she does not disappoint. That's
Oh
all
yeah.
I'll say for now.
Yep. First ever lady secondary rider, which is a pretty cool milestone.
Absolutely,
So like not just a tertiary like Nago, but a full on like secondary protagonist.
absolutely, yeah, dude. Because with all the stuff with uh, Atropos and Renee, this kind of payoff is really sick because it's like at least how I'm seeing that dynamic go down is that like uh, Renee's gonna get to the point where she's like uh, Atropos just can't mess with her anymore, and we're pretty much getting there here. So we'll take it from the top. Uh,
Before we start talking about the episode itself,
yeah.
a very key detail is that this is the first episode written by Akiko Inoue, who has now joined like the main writers of the show. So she's the daughter of Toshiki Inoue, who is a very prolific screenwriter who's done a lot of writing for seasons like Agito, Ryuki,
Ooh,
Faiz, um, Kiva. Like he's written a ton for Kamen Rider, and his father before him, who went by the pen name Masaru Igami, wrote for the earliest seasons of Kamen Rider, like all the Showa seasons, even the first episode of the original. So we now have 3 generations of this family writing for Kamen Rider. So that's
Wow,
really cool to see.
what a pedigree!
Definitely.
Common writers.
Yeah. Anyway, this episode, you can tell from the beginning, is going to be a Rene focused episode because it shows how odd it is that Rene is still thinking about the rules of the Alchemist Academy, despite it having been dissolved and the students moving on from it and doing their own thing.
Yeah,
And so you can tell she's going to struggle with her idealization of following the rules while the institution crumbles around her.
and it's pretty much against her and everybody else that she's pretty much together with.
Yeah, definitely a big hurdle for her to overcome. But anyway, this leads to another encounter with Minato as Dread, and it goes kind of badly at first. Gotchard's getting his ass kicked a little, but then he pulls out Fire Gotchard,
Dude,
and Minato saw that for 2 seconds, and he instantly rage quits. He did the combo no one drops with his
yeah, dude.
driver
He's straight
and
up. He's like,
demorphed instantly.
he's all powered up. He gets his whole combo in, and then boom, fire Gotchard, and he straight up just instantly goes back to human form. He's like, I'm not doing this, and just walks away.
Yeah, he just straight up rage quit in that moment, which was hilarious.
Where it's like it's interesting to see because like you have Minato, but he also has the power of dread. Because you would think that like if Minato was gonna test them, he'd want to fight. But seeing that, and he's just like, I'm not doing this. That's big because like if he was if he was that intimidated by Hodoro, that speaks volumes of this new power that he's got.
Yeah, Hodoro's
Or he didn't
really
want to sabotage anything,
exceeded
but we just don't know.
expectations. Yeah, we really don't know what's going on with Minato. It's
Yeah,
all still very much a mystery. But anyway, the climax of the episode is the fight with the Cerberus Amalgam, and
it's a really
we
cool
see,
design too
yeah, we see
because it's like
Rene struggle. Oh, you were saying?
oh yeah, because you have like the it's like fire, ice, and electricity, and then like they get separated, so they become like three different amalgams, and then they can like morph with each other, or it could be like an ice and lightning amalgam and a fire amalgam over here, and then they all turn back into three. So it's really
Oh
cool.
yeah, like they really take advantage of like the Chemi motif for the suit designs, and the um I think one of the arms of like the base amalgam template is like holding up the leash for the Cerberus, which is a really cool detail.
It is so sick. And then like uh, Lachesis is a was she in the fight? I can't remember.
Let's see, I
I
think
know
it was.
Atropos was like the at least like the highlight of the sisters in the fight because there's quite the moment in this episode because I think it was Atropos trying to like keep the Cerberus on a leash as it is, but they kind of like break out of that control and attack Atropos, and her whole arm gets turned into gold, so she gets like Midas touched
Oh
by
yeah.
the electric amalgam, and like she's like basically immobile, and it's gonna go like attack and kill her possibly, but like Rene straight up like gets between them and beats the amalgam. And like Atropos is like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "I did not ask for you to help me." And it's like, "Well, you needed help, and I had to do it, man."
Yep, because that's what Kamen Riders do.
Yep. Because she's like, "Screw the rules, even if it's like you're helpless. Like it's not fair to you." You know, it was a real strong character moment for both of them, honestly, because uh, Rin is like, "Yeah, I can do my own thing," while Atropos is like, "Yeah, never do that for me again, or I'm going to annihilate you."
Yeah, well, she'll learn eventually.
real set in her
Yeah,
ways. Because like
yeah,
it really goes like someone who can who can evolve their way of thinking versus someone who is just like totally set in their way.
yeah. Although I do feel like at this point it feels a lot more likely that the Abyssal sisters might eventually turn to the good side. Because I
Yeah,
feel like they're being portrayed a little bit more sympathetic compared to someone like Garyon. Like you can tell there's a bit of a hierarchy.
yeah,
And maybe Reen will eventually get through to Atropos and help bring her to the good side.
yeah. Because
But yeah,
there's been a lot of setup for that. Because uh, he's like, it's like you and me are closer than you think. Because it's like you just need a friend. That's the thing that divides us. She's like, no, it's not. So it's like I'm excited to see where that goes because there's a lot of setup, and I'm ready to see what the payoff could possibly be.
oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of good payoff potential in this show. But
So good.
anyway, the fight with Majade and the Cerberus Amalgam is really good. Majade just delivers the beatdown on the Amalgam, and it's really fun to see.
Yeah, and she's like unicorn, the sun, or something like that. Whenever she
Yeah,
transforms.
yeah, Sun Unicorn is her main
Yeah,
form.
so it's like it's cool because it's like it doesn't look it looks like similar in aesthetic to Gotchard's main form, but then it's like it has its own like aesthetic to it.
Yeah, it
It's
feels
like she made it
very
her own.
unique.
Yeah, and it fits with like the whole situation. She's doing her own thing.
Yeah, which it's ironic how unique the writers are when they all are just based on the initial Gotcha driver. Like both
Yeah.
Majade and Valvarad's drivers are just in the toy line, they're just attachments to the Gotcha driver, even though in the show they're their own unit.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, the episode ends with one final meeting between Reen and Minato, and Rine has basically accepted and tells Minato that she's officially leaving the Alchemist Academy on her own terms because she wants to follow her own rules. And Minato seems a little shaken up by this. Like he seems to have a bit of an emotional reaction, which hints towards him still caring about these students, which just really adds on to the mystery of why Minato's doing this and
Yeah,
just what is going on.
because like if he's doing this to like protect them, like I don't see the reason behind that because I mean Garon's pretty much coming for everybody here, you know, and like
Yeah,
if he's trying to like test them, I don't think he's doing a good job of it. Because part of me thinks that like he's still I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it because he's such an aloof character.
yeah.
We just have to see more development because if he's gonna back out of fights with Hodoro so quickly, because have we seen him even fight Hodoro? Because we really only see him fight like Spanner that time.
So, yeah. Well, in this episode, he does fight Hotaro a little bit
Yeah,
until Fire Gotchard, because it's like Hotaro was on the losing end for a while, and then he pulled out that form and immediately had the upper hand.
there's definitely something up with him because I don't know if he's trying to like uh get in good with Garyon just to like backstab him or what.
Yeah, that could be the case. I'm definitely leaning towards that.
Yeah, because I don't think he's mind controlled. I think he's deliberately doing this.
Yeah, he seems
But
very much in control of his actions.
yeah, it's a good dynamic because I really don't know what to make of it, but it's still riveting.
Yeah, really keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, and he's already like one of those like intimidating figures anyway. Because I mean
Yeah,
he's at least as powerful as Spanner. Yeah,
he's
Minato's.
always had a vibe like he'd become an antagonist eventually, but we never thought it'd be like this.
Yeah, the writing in this show is really good.
Definitely. Anyway, we've had the Majade episode with episode 19, and now it's time for the Spanner episode for episode 20.
Smiling
And so,
Angel, ridiculous joke.
yep,
What a
it is,
ridiculous joke.
yep, it is going to be a ridiculous joke this episode. That's for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
So we see Spanner reunite with his parents, and he seems very happy to see them. These are like the only people he is ever happy to see, it appears. And he conversates with them, tells them about his life as a rank A alchemist. But there's something amiss here. Something's not quite right about this because Hodoro and his friends are telling Spanner's mentor Kyoka, "Oh, he's meeting his family for the first time in forever."
And
And
then
the
she's like,
look on her
he's
face,
what?
yeah.
Because
And
something's up
so
here.
she informs them that Spanner's parents have been dead for 10 years. And so it turns out that his parents were just illusions created by the angel Malgam. So, very dick move on that Malgham's part. It turns out that Spanner completely forgot, or had maybe had the memory wiped, that his parents were killed by who else but Garyon?
And they drop some information here. They mention they should have been more powerful than him, but they were not. So he had something that made him overpower them in
Yeah,
front of Spanner. Yeah, that was just a piece of information. I was like, what is Jerion even up to here? Because he's got something that makes him super powerful, and they just get wiped out in a glorious golden light. It's crazy to see because it's like this is definitely the darkest this series is getting.
no, definitely. And all on Spanner too, because it's like Spanner has been a real anomaly of a character for most of the show.
Yeah,
Like, real edgy, mysterious. It like also has some like weird quirks about him.
when are we
Like,
gonna get this joke?
yeah, like that. And his weird fixation on Rene. And also getting his ass kicked in nearly every fight.
Yeah,
But now all of these revelations we get about him and his character just really puts it into perspective because he had a real traumatic incident happen when he was young, when he lost his parents, and he had that memory wiped. So you could tell there's something missing within him that made him the way he was. So this episode really makes it all make sense.
yeah. So it's like a lot of setup because like this show has been great with the setups and the payoffs so far. Because I feel like if we compare it to something like Geats was a lot more uh like a scale going upwards,
Yeah,
right?
Geets was like everything felt a lot more in the moment. Like there was still some setups and payoffs, but a lot of the plot just felt like constantly moving forward instead of just
Yeah,
slowly feeding it like Gotchard.
yeah. Because like Gotchard is definitely at this point in time a lot more character centric. Uh, while like Geats around this time was a lot more story centric, situation centric.
Yeah,
So it's like I'm really enjoying the uh I guess the pacing they got going on here.
definitely makes it exciting to see from week to week.
Man, the Angel Amalgam, man. That's
Oh
a
yeah, that's a really good design.
yeah. It's like because he has like his like a metal wing as like a blade, and like he throw feathers and crap like throwing knives. It's crazy,
Yeah,
crazy good
and
design.
isn't it like the base, like the amalgam template, like has his arms like praying to the angel that's on the head?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's I just love that.
and
But anyway,
yeah,
this revelation shakes Spanner to his core, and not only does it awaken this uncanny black flame power that he has, but it also generates enough malice in him that his chemi mad wheel combines with him to become the wheel amalgam.
yeah. It's like dude, seeing like I that's another thing because like right off the cusp of Rene becoming a Kamen Rider, we then see like the tertiary character become a freaking amalgam
Yeah,
with
and it
his own like card, dude. That was rough to watch.
yeah,
It
and
was
I like how
sad, dude.
like the amalgam design has continuity with Valverad's armor because it just the fact that it's the same like armor pieces between the amalgam and Rider version
Yeah,
just it really shows like continuity with the Chemi power and how it manifests. So I really love the wheel amalgam design.
truly. I think it's at least top five for sure.
Oh, oh definitely.
And, like the situation too, where it's like man, dude, the Angel amalgam is evil, and then just like this trying to stop the wheel amalgam from like causing even more destruction. It's hard to see because it's like you have Hodoro and Rene going like Spanner, dude, it's us, stop, and he's just amalgam, you know, and they gotta beat the crap out of him to get him out of this form,
Yeah.
and it's
And
like
they're stuck fighting a friend once again.
it's like I wonder how much how far that theme of fighting allies is gonna go, you know, because we Sabimaru, Minato, now Spanner. It's like what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There, there's
And I feel like
definitely going to be a bit more interpersonal conflict as the series goes on. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Hodoro and Spanner get like one more like rivalry, or maybe Spanner becomes a villain for a bit. Like who knows what could happen in these next 30 episodes.
yeah, it's definitely gonna pick up like it always does.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it does pick up and it doesn't have a drop off like some
Yeah.
seasons of Rider can tend to have. But I don't think that's going to happen with Gotchard personally. I think
There's
they're
just so
really
much.
putting a lot of effort into the writing
Yeah,
because not only do we have Keiichi Hasegawa, who is a legendary writer in Tokusatsu, working on it, but now we have Akiko Inoue, who is adding on to a lineage of esteemed um, writer, screenwriters, and so I really think Gotchard has the potential to turn out to be something truly special by the end.
absolutely. Yeah, because like there's just so much. There's so much. It's such high concept writing here, and it's just working out. Because like if they can have these setups turn to payoffs that are even more setups for higher payoffs, that's good right there. That's a good sign, I'd say.
Oh yeah,
Because like even with like Hodoro embodying like it's like oh yeah he's definitely we've come to the conclusion that yes he is absolutely has the heart of a Kamen Rider, and it's like I think his arc's gonna be how does that heart hold up and keep everything together, you know?
oh definitely,
Because there's a lot of dark things happening in this series.
oh yeah, and it could possibly get darker from here. You know, once we learn
Absolutely.
about the true history of some things,
Yeah.
and like who were the Abyssalis brothers?
Yeah,
Like,
that's another one because they're like because even the sisters like Atropos herself was like yeah no that they're too crazy to even be controlled.
yeah, and
The
so they
wild
turned them
cards.
into little wax figures or whatever the hell.
And then like I mean hell the Cerberus one just like instantly turned on Atropos whenever he had the chance. Turned her arm
Yeah,
to gold.
oh yeah,
So it's like I wonder what their story is, you know?
yeah. I'm sure we'll learn it in due time.
Yeah. Because it's like, were they uncontrollable because they were crazy, or that they just didn't agree with you guys? You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so much to look forward to in this show, and we're almost halfway there.
Yep. We are officially 2/5 of the way through the show.
Wow.
But with that, thus ends another exciting episode of the GotchardCast. We are Otaku Sentai Podranger signing off.
good night, goodbye, and I'll see you next game.
Stay hydrated.